Hi, I'm Natalie Von Kirk. I just had the pleasure of being interviewed by Keith Andrew. I definitely support everything that he's doing. I think it's a great cause. I definitely support those who have been marginalized, especially people with disabilities. So keep up the great work, Keith Andrew.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here as Natty. We're talking about brain farts. I'm here as the beautiful and talented. I'm here as the beautiful and talented Natalie Von Kirk, and this is episode 709. I just want to say thank you for accepting my request and welcome to the Keith Andrew Network.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove to them you can still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, what can you tell us about yourself?
Hi, well, first, amen to all that. I am an actress. I live in LA, and that's what I do right now. Except it is COVID right now, so I luckily did just have a gig with this film called Brides of Jesus, directed by Joe Bartoni. It was a great little project I got to be in. I played Tigra. She is the leader of this punk rock band called Brides of Jesus. It's a wonderful, fun little punk rock thing. But since then, I haven't had any work. I just graduated as well. I am class of 2020, magna cum laude from studio school, which is now called Hushin Studio or Hushin College in Studio. But yeah, I graduated magna cum laude, top 21. I got into the club 21. And I also struggle with a disability of my own. I have something called thoracic outlet syndrome, which is the congestion of the artery and the nerve in my my shoulder right here. And it's caused a lot of pain, especially because I majored in musical theater and I had to do a lot of ballet, and a lot of the movements that I had to do just caused excruciating pain. And I was doing them correctly with correct muscular placement, and so it just caused a lot of pain, and I just had this ongoing injury for years, a decade at least. And then I figured out I had little cervical ribs in my neck, and I had to get those removed. I got my right side operated on, so they went in through my armpit at UCLA. It was a great experience. And they took my first rib and my first rib and my cervical rib. So, but after that, my career has definitely changed a lot because I'm no longer in constant physical pain.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you came out in one piece.
Yeah.
So I see you're going for the punker look.
Yeah, that is what I am doing now. I'm not necessarily like that, but I think that what I've learned from the years I've spent training for the acting industry and what my mentors have said is that they think I'll get more work when I am portraying this type of character. So I can't argue with that, you know.
I agree. For the record, my hair's not usually like this. Well, it is kind of short, but I can't actually go to a professional haircut place. So the first time, it was horrible. I just shaved the whole freaking thing, and I got so short, I looked like a horrible Lex Luthor. And the second one is, I mean, the sides are okay, but I kind of messed up the top, so it now looks like I have a freaking 80s mullet. So it's like, I can't wait for a haircut place to open so I can actually get a normal haircut instead of bolstering myself.
Yeah, be careful. You might start singing "Flock of Seagulls."
That's a good song, by the way, and good song and good band.
Yes, but it looks pretty decent from what I could see. My friend actually just shaved my head last night.
Oh, it looks nice.
Thanks.
While we're on the subject about staying in the house or an apartment, how have you been during the whole quarantine?
I've been good. It's been a roller coaster for me personally because I've had to move twice and I went on a couple different road trips, I think. And it's just been constant activity and constant activism because I'm very inspired to advocate for the voices of people that I find oppressed and that are oppressed in this country, including people like you and myself who have disabilities.
So you're kind of like me, the voice of the voiceless.
I try to be, I have a good heart.
Likewise, I do a lot of stupid things, but I try to keep balance. I would say I'm more like my hero Son Goku. I try, just not be stupid, but I try to walk around with a good heart, emotions on my sleeve, even though I don't really think he does that. But, just having a good heart, be balanced. But at the same time, I do like your hairstyle, and the more I think about mine, it's more, it kind of gives me that cockiness, so I kind of look more like Vegeta, or I'm kind of arrogant about myself. But at the same time, whatever you perceive on the outside, it's not how you perceive on the inside. Inside, you have a good heart, you do the right thing. On the outside, you look like a badass. So it's always good to have that balance.
Yeah, I think that anime is a great example for like role models, honestly. I think people sleep on anime, but there's some really good life lessons and teachings in anime because it's just all centered on being the best you can be and being strong of mind and heart and body. It's the penultimate thing to look for in health, in my opinion. But I'm just an anime nerd.
Yeah, likewise, I love Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I love Naruto and Pokemon and One Piece and Attack on Titan.
I heard of, well, for me, it's Dragon Ball hands down, Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown, Pokemon, of course, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, Big O. So there's a lot of good ones, but for me, my heart will always go to Dragon Ball. Secondly, if I can't have Dragon Ball, I guess Pokemon. But it's funny you should mention that. Do a little plug. For anyone available who has an iPhone, obviously who doesn't have an iPhone, for right now on iPhone, it's free. Thank God for that. You can get Pokemon Masters. I've been playing on it for the past couple of days. It's actually pretty good. The special effects are really good. But it's kind of like I miss the old school nostalgia of, the Game Boy. Playing it on the phone, it's kind of like, it's fine, but it's kind of like, I rather, hold something like this than just like an iPhone. But it serves its purpose, keeps you entertained. But hey, do you play Pokemon Masters?
I do not.
We should get on that. We can play together.
No. Okay.
Do you ever
Right
want
now,
to? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say right now I'm a little busy learning bow staff and Tai Chi.
Well, self-defense comes more important than technology. Technology only can protect you so much.
Well,
But do
you
you
said
ever?
it, not me.
But do you ever want? I do want to plug real fast. Just they should actually make me a sponsor. It's, do you like Iron Maiden?
The band?
Yes.
I'm not a follower.
Shame. Shame on you. Iron Maiden, just messing with you. Iron Maiden, one of my favorites. They actually did a game where it's actually pretty interesting. Pretty much, long story short, Eddie gets his spirit shattered. He has to go retrieve it, but you get to play as, the different albums, right? Somewhere in Time, Matter of Life and Death. You get to play as those characters. So it's kind of like a Final Fantasy theme. Everyone takes turns, and it's actually really good. But not to get off subject. But the one thing I do want to talk to you about is stereotypes. And you did hint towards this in the beginning. One thing I do want to ask you, and we stay on subject, is one of my favorite shows that my sister got me into was Doom Patrol. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Would recommend it. It's on the DC app, and it's pretty much like a bunch of misfits. A long story short about Doom Patrol is those 4 people had certain accidents. Then they found out that it was a guy behind it. It's complicated, but I can definitely send it to you. It's really good. It's by DC Comics. It's not one of those cheesy things. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I think someone else recommended it before, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Well, it's not like we're acting or anything. We're in quarantine. So for me personally, unless there's a vaccine, I'm not doing much of anything. I'm just playing smart. But the reason I bring up Doom Patrol is because you have the similar hairstyle to Hammerhead. Hammerhead is one of the personalities from Jane. Jane is one of my favorites. She has 64 personalities in one body. So occasionally she will just not really spaz out, but just turn into one. But you can definitely be Hammerhead. Hammerhead's kind of like a punker rocker. And there's another one where it's like Baby Doll. And she's kind of not like a crybaby, but it's more like a daddy issues or something. It's really pretty interesting. But the main thing I'm trying to get to you is, stereotyping. Based on your style right now, do you think that, you look at Doom Patrol, you look at Mad Max, you look at, just trying to think some other shows, based on your outfit, do you feel that and you do look like a badass, by the way, but do you want to be just known as a badass, or do you want to try for different roles?
I'm glad you asked that question because I think about this a lot. And the way I see it is at the beginning of my career, right now, my resume is short and I don't have many credits on IMDb. But once I start building that, it's great for me to have this kind of niche that I'm in with my look, because it is so what is the word? Just striking. And so it's very unique to me. And in the beginning of my career, I'm fine with being typecasted as the badass, that's fine with me. But as I do grow in my career and travel down different paths and different avenues, I want to do more producing and maybe go on Broadway someday. I think I'm going to develop other parts of my personality, and that will in turn lead me to more nuanced roles where I can be softer and I can be more feminine. But it's not a problem for me to play this role, to put this quote unquote mask on for the next couple of years.
I understand. But there's certain, being typecast could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing. I give you an example of a good thing. Well, I consider it a good thing. I don't know. I never actually talked to them. Robert Downey Jr., Christian Bale, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. These 4 people will be, and Tommy McGuire for that matter, these 5 people will be remembered as certain characters, Iron Man, Batman. But there's other people like Jeff Goldblum, um, why am I drawing a blank on his name? The guy who did Data from Next Generation. Those guys always got picked and stereotyped as a scientist. And so someone said to me, well, by looking at you, Keith, we can see you being a scientist. Okay, I have no problem with being a scientist, but I don't want to be subtitled as in stereotyped. There's other things I want to do. I want to be a ring announcer. I want to be a broadcast announcer. Just other things too. Just because I wear glasses doesn't be like, oh, automatically give him, a doctor's sheet or a white jacket and he can do this and he's going to be scientist. I mean, scientists are fine. I have no problem with that. But the thing about being stereotyped, if it works in your favor, it's great. But at the same time, that can easily backfire as well.
I agree with you. Yeah. I just think if you're in the beginning of your career, it's better to get your foot in the door in like one category and you're known for that one thing. And then once you have a larger fan base, you can spread out and explore more and do different roles. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
No, I agree. Now, based on your look, like you said, you can be a badass. You can be like a bounty hunter. You could be like a bodyguard. You can be like a rock singer in a band. Maybe I should shave my head like that even more. But there's like certain things. I know when you wear glasses, you can't look like a badass. Even though I can have those roles where I'm standing there like this with sunglasses, like as long as I don't move, people think I'm cool. but there's certain things like glasses kind of takes away from it too. I'll give you an example. Name one badass who wears glasses.
Winston. he's the ape, the gorilla from Overwatch.
I heard of it. I've never seen it, but I take your word for it. But there's like certain things that it's not the glasses that makes the person; it's the person who makes the glasses. But it's like those certain things like that. It's like, yeah, it's always good to change up your persona. I give you an example. I'm kind of typecast right now because it was my talk show. People know me as, oh, you're the kid who has a talk show about disabilities. Yeah, I guess that's fine, but it doesn't have to be like that. But there's other things too. Like when I worked in retail, people are like, "Oh, hey, I recognize you," and it's like, "Please talk about my talk show. Please talk about my talk show." Oh, we went to school together. All right, I guess that's better than nothing. But it's kind of like when people recognize you, you kind of hope it's something, but it doesn't always work out. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, I hate saying that, but it is. But the next question I want to ask you is who influenced you to become an actress and how many years have you been acting?
Who influenced me? Well, I grew up on musicals at first. At first, I really wanted to go the Broadway route. And this is going to sound cheesy if there's any people who listen in musical theater, but I watched Phantom of the Opera, the movie with Emmy Rossum and Gerard Butler, when I was really young. And I think even before that, I may have watched Ella Enchanted, but it was around the same time. And I just loved that there was this musical aspect to the movie. I thought it enhanced the acting, and I wanted to do what Emmy Rossum did, basically. And which is ironic because I also love her in Shameless, and I would totally play a role like that too. But what was the other question? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How many years have you been acting?
Okay. Well, I started doing summer camps, when I was around 7. but I didn't have my first professional acting job until I was 17, I think. It was a short, um, it was like an interactive module for the Air Force because I lived in Northern Virginia at the time, and it's very, um, there's a lot of military families that live there because of the Pentagon and whatnot. Right.
Oh, you actually bring up a good subject. Have you ever thought about serving?
I have actually. I got
Oh,
to a
thank you
point.
for your service.
I thought about it. I didn't
Oh,
actually.
oh, still.
I just remember being in a sophomore, I think, in art school, and just thinking to myself, what am I doing to help the world right now? I felt like, I've always been called to acting, and I think I can't imagine myself doing anything else. But it felt unimportant at the time, especially just with everything that's going on in the world. I felt like I wanted to have more purpose in my life, or at least contribute to some cause, but I think I was just scared.
No, I agree. It is, you see horror movies of real monsters and horrible people, evil people. And the scary fact is, they do exist. You look at, the Nazis, you look at, people, Muslim terrorists, you look at criminals and rapists and serial killers. Personally, I'm for the death panel, but, that's not to talk political things, but it's kind of like certain people shouldn't have the rights to be walking around. Like for me, the one thing I have close to my heart is animal rights. And for me personally, yes, I do support the Second Amendment, absolutely. And for people who have disabilities, I don't really agree that it depends on the circumstances, but for me personally, you know, yes, I do support the rights to have rights, defend yourself in any means necessary. But there's certain people that should not have the rights to have guns. And people with disabilities, you could say, shouldn't have the rights. But you can be a normal person, you do the 9 to 5 job, but you can just flip like that. I think for people who have guns, there should be a strict background check. They should be like not a ticking time bomb, because anyone can go out and get a gun. And the problem is that's the problem. But you don't know about people, and it's certain things like that you're kind of wary on. It's like we should take better care of people so we wouldn't have to deal with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Now, with the last 5 minutes left, I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there anything you wanted to know, anything you wanted to promote? This is your time.
Well, yes, I would love to promote, and I kind of already did, but Brides of Jesus. It's a movie, short film at the moment. It just finished shooting, so it's not out yet. But just you can follow the Facebook page, which is called Brides of Jesus Movie, and my pictures are on there, and it'll say more about the film. But it's about this nun who's framed for murder, and then she simultaneously is joining a punk rock band. Yes. And let's see. Anything else I want to say? Black Lives Matter. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to say anything else. Just go in peace.
No, I agree. For the record, I don't want, I'm going to lose some fans by saying this, but I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, for this election, because we need to get that garbage out of the White House. And yeah. People are like, oh, you're saying that because you're not a Trump fan. Yeah, I'm not. And also, he's an asshole. Long story about it. He sued my parents over a broken toilet seat. That was back in like in 77, 78. Long story
Your
short.
parents?
Huh?
Your parents?
Yep.
What?
My parents rented an apartment in one of his apartments complex. And I don't remember the full story. I just remember my parents suing Trump over a broken toilet seat. So we have a paper somewhere that says Donald J. Trump sues you for a replacement over a broken toilet seat. And my mom's like, "Oh, we're gonna sue you." And his exact words were, "You can't sue us. We're an empire." And it's kind of like that's why I don't like him because he's an asshole.
God.
No, I agree, but personally, I think Joe Biden would do a person. I just want somebody who knows what they're doing, and I know all the presidents are really bad. Not to talk about political things. I give you an example. Obama said there will come a time where there will be a pandemic or a crisis in our lifetime. And he was right. And you go back to Bush, he didn't do anything. You go back to Clinton, he didn't do anything. You go back to George Bush Sr., didn't do anything. You go back to Reagan. Those sort of 4 terms right there, they did absolutely nothing. All they had to do was, even if it wasn't serious, stockpile masks, stockpile machines, put it away. I don't care if he buried the damn thing. As long as it's severe and a worst case scenario, what we're going for right now would actually not be happening. But at the same time, if you followed about what he said in January, he said that for 6 weeks, if people stayed home and mandatory didn't do anything, this wouldn't be happening right now. 6 weeks stay home, just let it die out or expand or evolve or whatever. But instead, we have people going to the beach, they're going to the malls and doing all these stupid ass things. And there's like 500 million people are dead. And now they're fighting over that. The stupidity of people is absolutely staggering. And people call me retarded. But I can do laps around most of these people. I mean, just do it. Anyways, it's
Trump definitely handled the whole coronavirus thing terribly. I think most people could agree on that.
no, I agree. They does. I'm not one to follow directions, but look at it like this. Back in January, if everyone did what they were supposed to, things would have gone back to, I guess, somewhat normal. But yeah, I don't know. Not to talk about politics. I hate Republicans. I hate Democrats. I'm an independent. I just want somebody to do their job. I don't care what it is. I'm so sick of the infighting. And it's kind of like they bitch and they moan and they complain and they don't do anything. And it's anyway, yeah, it's just not disappointed on
That's
that.
why I'm a follower of Andrew Yang. If any of y'all don't know who he is, go follow him because he is not. He's with the Democratic Party like officially, but he's more forward thinking. He thinks he's a scientist and he knows exactly what needs to happen. He says the average American is a 37-year-old white woman. So what do we need to do so that this person can have the means to support themselves and maybe even start a business someday? And that's why I follow him. And he also proposes the added value tax, which would tax e-transactions like over Amazon, or maybe you could figure out how to do it with Google and Facebook as well. But basically, any Amazon transaction, they add a 1% tax on it, or even less than that. And that is generating a whole lot of wealth for the economy.
Well, my last question for you. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your honest first opinion? What made you say yes? And after being a guest, how do you feel now?
Well, I get a lot of random messages from people asking if I want to be a brand ambassador and stuff, and most of it is just a ploy to get my money. So I was very skeptical at first, but then once I did a little bit more research and looked at your profile, I realized that it was something that I would like to support, and so that's how I made that decision.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Hi guys, my name is Kat Johnston.
This is Donna Drake.
This is Kayleen.
Hi, my name is Kara Svuchek.
I'm Julia Brothers.
Jenna Curtis.
Hey, I'm Jenny Fon.
Hi, it's Mimi Chin.
Hi, my name is Ella Dorsch.
My name is Shauna Toft.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Actress Becky Hayes.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rose.
Hey there, I'm Saki Mieta.
Hi guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrews' show.